Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The morning sun streams through the open blinds, dust particles dancing in the golden beams like tiny stars lost in space. I sit at the kitchen table, sipping my coffee, the steam swirling up like the storm of thoughts in my mind. The house is silent except for the occasional chirp from the bird feeder outside the window. It's a normal Sunday, or at least it begins as one. Lila, with her usual burst of morning energy, bounds into the kitchen. "Morning, love," she chirps, dropping a quick kiss on my cheek before pouring herself a cup of coffee. Her phone pings, a sound that's as frequent as the ticking of our hallway clock. I've never really bothered with her social media habits. Lila's always posting, always scrolling. But today, as she laughs softly at something on her screen, curiosity nudges me. "What's so funny?" I ask, trying to make my tone light, uninterested. "Just a silly meme Tim shared," she replies, her eyes glinting with secrets not shared between us. "Mind if I see?" The question hangs between us, a test, perhaps more for me than for her. With a shrug, she hands over her phone. I swipe through her feed, noting nothing more than the usual fare: selfies, a cat video, a snapshot of last night's dinner. But then I pause. There's a photo of Lila in our living room, radiant, the room blurred behind her vibrant smile. It's a good photo, but something in the background catches my eye, a reflection in the mirror. I zoom in, my heart pounding a rapid beat. There's a shadow, faint but unmistakable. A man. Not just any man, the silhouette is distinctive, hulking, familiar. And there, on the floor, partially obscured by the edge of the sofa, a baseball cap. The same one I gifted Tim last Christmas. The phone almost slips from my trembling hands. "Lila, when was this taken?" My voice is calm, belying the storm inside. "Last week, I think." "Why?" She frowns, her eyes darting to the screen and then back to my face. "Was Tim here last week?" I push, watching her carefully. Her laugh is nervous, too high-pitched. "Tim. You know he drops by sometimes. He's practically family." Practically family. The words sting, a betrayal wrapped in casual dismissal. I hand her phone back, my mind racing. The image burns behind my eyelids, Tim's shadow in our home, his cap a careless token of their deceit. The rest of the morning passes in a blur. Lila chats about her plans for the day, oblivious to the shift in my demeanor. I nod and smile, a mask worn too many times. But inside, a plan forms. It's not just about confronting them, it's about reclaiming my life, my dignity. "I need to run some errands," I say abruptly, standing. "I'll be back later." Lila looks up, surprised. "Okay, love. See you later." Her goodbye is cheerful, unaware. As I step out into the crisp morning air, the weight of the revelation sits heavy on my chest. But there's also a strange relief. Knowing is better than wondering, better than the naive trust one clung to. I head towards my car, each step firm, purposeful. It's time to confront my so-called best friend. It's time for answers, and then, retribution. The game has changed, and I'm no longer just a spectator. I turn the key in the ignition, the engines roar a grim soundtrack to the storm brewing within. Today marks the end of one life and the beginning of another. As I pull away from the curb, I don't look back. The drive to Tim's house is shorter than I remember. Each traffic light is green, as if the universe itself clears my path toward confrontation. When I pull up to his place, the sight of his truck in the driveway tightens the knot in my stomach. It's now or never. I don't bother knocking. The door swings open at my push, revealing a dimly lit hallway. "Tim." My voice is louder than intended, an echo of anger and betrayal. From the kitchen, Tim emerges, a look of surprise morphing into concern. Jake? Where's the cap I gave you last Christmas? I cut him off, my eyes locked onto his, searching for any flicker of guilt. He hesitates, a telltale pause, then points to the coat rack by the door. The cap is there, innocuous yet damning. Why? I thrust my phone at him, the photo of Lila on the screen. I found this. Explain it, Tim. Tim takes the phone, his brow furrowing as he looks. When he meets my gaze again, there's an apology there, but it's weak, hesitant. Jake, it's not what. Save it, I snap, snatching the phone back. I saw the reflection. How long? He runs a hand through his hair, his posture sagging. A few months. I'm sorry, man. It just happened. Just happened. The bitterness in my voice surprises even me. And you kept coming to my house, pretending to be my friend? It's not just that, he starts, but I don't want to hear excuses. As we stand there, the front door creaks, and another figure steps in, Mia, Tim's sister. Her eyes flick between us, sensing the tension. What's going on here? Her voice is sharp, protective. Tim doesn't answer, so I do. Ask your brother about his betrayals. Mia looks from me to Tim, her face hardening as she puts pieces together. Tim. What did you do? It's not his fault alone, I say, though it does nothing to lessen my anger. Lila's involved. Mia's eyes widen, her gaze snapping back to Tim. You and Lila. Are you serious, Tim? Her voice is a mix of anger and disbelief. Tim nods, miserable. I screwed up, Mia. Big time. Mia turns to me, her expression softening. Jake, This is horrible. I had no idea. If there's anything I can do. Her offer is genuine, a lifeline in the storm. Help me understand why, I say, my voice breaking. Help me make them realize what they've lost. Mia nods, stepping closer. I'll do whatever I can. This isn't the brother I know, and it's not the friend you deserve. We spend the next hour talking, Mia and I, forming an unlikely alliance out of shared betrayal. Tim tries to join the conversation, to explain, to apologize, but it's too soon, the wound's too fresh. By the time I leave Tim's house, the sun is setting, casting long shadows across the street. I feel drained, yet strangely resolute. The betrayal has cut deep, but it has also forged new paths. Mia and I plan to confront Lila together, to face her and close this painful chapter. As I drive back home, the weight of today's revelations settles in. Tomorrow, I will face Lila, armed with the truth and an unexpected ally. The game of pretense is over, and the reckoning is at hand. The morning dawns gray and overcast, mirroring the turmoil within me as I prepare for the confrontation with Lila. I barely sleep, the hours crawling by, laden with images of deceit and whispered secrets. Today, it ends. Mia meets me outside my house, her presence a steady force. Ready? She asks, though her eyes betray her own nervousness. Let's do this, I reply, more to bolster my resolve than out of any real readiness. We drive together, the cityscape blurring past my window, a reflection of the chaos in my heart. We rehearse what we'll say, how we'll react. Mia insists on calm, on clarity. Let's not give them the satisfaction of seeing us break, she advises, and I nod, grateful for her strength. We arrive earlier than expected. I park the car a block away from the cafe where we agreed to meet Lila. The walk there is short but feels like miles, each step heavy with anticipation. Lila is already there, seated at a back table, a cup of coffee untouched before her. Her eyes flick up as we approach, widening slightly at the sight of Mia. Jake, Mia. What's, Lila begins, but her voice trails off as she sees our expressions. We know, Lila, I start, my voice steady despite the pounding in my chest. About you and Tim. Lila's face pales, her eyes darting between Mia and me. I can explain, she says quickly, a hint of desperation creeping into her voice. Mia crosses her arms, her stance firm. We're listening, she says, though it's clear the courtesy is strained. Lila takes a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly. It wasn't planned. It just happened. I never meant to hurt you, Jake. You have to believe that. I shake my head, the sense of betrayal sharp as ever. Why? Why him? Why lie? She sighs, looking down. I felt neglected. You were always busy, always distant. Tim was there, he listened. Her explanation sounds feeble even to her ears. So you betray me? With my best friend? My voice cracks with the raw edge of my emotions. Mia places a hand on my shoulder, a silent support. I'm sorry, Jake. I truly am, Lila whispers, her eyes wet with unshed tears. Sorry doesn't fix this, Lila, Mia interjects. You've hurt him, you've hurt all of us. Did you think about the consequences at all? Lila shakes her head, her demeanor crumbling. I didn't think. That's right, you didn't, I cut her off. And now, we're done. I want a divorce, Lila. I can't do this anymore. Her face crumples at the words, the finality of them hitting home. Jake, please. No, Lila. It's over, I state firmly, standing up. Mia rises with me, a united front. We leave her there, a solitary figure at the table, her tears finally breaking free as we walk away. The cafe door closes behind us with a soft jingle, a mundane sound marking the end of our shared history. As Mia and I step back into the light drizzle, the air feels cleaner, lighter. What now? She asks, her voice soft. Now, I rebuild, I answer, the path ahead uncertain but unmistakably mine. In the days following the confrontation, the city seems to echo my turmoil, rain persistently drumming against the windows. I've moved out of the house Lila and I shared, taking refuge in a small apartment that feels both alien and comforting in its unfamiliarity. My phone, usually silent now, buzzes unexpectedly, Mia's name flashing on the screen. Jake, you need to see something, Mia's voice is tense when I answer. What is it? I ask, a sense of foreboding settling in. It's about Lila and Tim. Meet me at my place. Now. The urgency in her voice propels me into action. Within the hour, I'm at her door, the air crisp as autumn asserts itself, shedding the last of summer's warmth. Mia doesn't waste time on pleasantries. Look at this, she says, handing me a stack of papers. I found these in Tim's room while I was helping him pack. The papers tremble slightly in my hands as I leaf through them. Emails, messages, photos, evidence of not just an affair but a calculated betrayal. The emails are damning, revealing not just infidelity but manipulation. Lila and Tim had planned this, planned to leverage their knowledge of my business dealings to their advantage. Why would they do this? I murmur, betrayal slicing through the shock. Mia's face is stormy. Money. It's always about money, isn't it? They were planning to blackmail you. The room spins slightly as the full impact hits me. Blackmail me? With what? With secrets from your company. Secrets you trusted to Tim because he was your friend and business partner. Her voice is bitter. Rage builds within me, hot and fierce. They're going to pay for this, I say, my voice a low growl. Mia nods, her expression grim. I thought you'd say that. I have a plan. Her plan is simple yet effective. We involve the police, providing them with all the evidence Mia discovered. They move quickly, and within days, both Lila and Tim are arrested for attempted extortion and fraud. The trial is a blur of legal terms and cold, hard stares. Lila looks at me across the courtroom, her eyes pleading for forgiveness, but I am devoid of sympathy. Tim refuses to meet my gaze, his shame a small solace in the sea of my anger. When the verdict is read, guilty on all counts, a part of me feels vindicated, yet the hollowness inside persists. The courtroom empties, leaving me to my turbulent thoughts. Outside, the sky has cleared, but the chill in the air remains. Mia approaches, her steps hesitant. "Are you okay?" she asks. "No," I admit, "but I will be." "We'll never have to see them again," Mia says, and there is a question in her eyes, an offer of further companionship. "I know, and thank you, Mia. For everything." I pause, considering her unspoken offer. But I think it's best if I move on alone. I need to find peace, rebuild my life without reminders of the past. Mia nods, understanding and perhaps a little disappointed. "I get it. Just know, I'm here if you need a friend." As I walk away, the finality of my decision weighs heavily on me. I've lost friends, a wife, a part of myself to this deceit. But as the first leaves of fall crunch under my feet, a sense of renewal stirs within me. Ahead lies a path uncharted, a chance to redefine my existence away from the shadows of betrayal. And somewhere in that thought lies the beginning of peace.